What's up, y'all? Philyflishow checking in, kicking in at Right Way Production Studios, and this is take two. You guys won't hear take one because I don't know what happened, but my OBS just literally crashed out halfway through my recording. Frustrated, ready to throw this thing at the wall, and yeah, let's start off the show with a little tension. What's up, y'all? Philyflishow here. We got pay-per-view UFC 298, or say that the right way, UFC pay-per-view 298. Alexzander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria as the main event of the evening. Wow. Good bang. You know what? The first two pay-per-views are, I am not going to lie, the main cards have been pretty solid. So, jumping into the second one almost instantly, this is a good card. The next card is even better, and the card after that, there is no words for it. So if you haven't checked out UFC 300, the rumor slash what Dana White has said, remember Dana goes back on what he says a lot, so don't always take him for his word, but supposedly he's still got to open up with the co-main event and the main event for UFC 300. So that means that whole card you see on there isn't finished. And if you know what's on there already, there's already two awesome title fights. So if they're adding two other fights, they have to be insane title fights. So craziness. But this is UFC 298, Alexzander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria, and I just watched the press conference for these guys. Volk is hilarious, man. Unfortunately, some of the time when you see these guys do these funny things, it kind of is the end and they're just kind of putting on a show. But I don't feel that with Volk. I feel like he's more motivated than ever, and I'm just hoping the statistics don't fall in his favor. I don't know, if you go look up that this statistic of when champions start losing their belts in the fall off starts, he's at that age, if not way higher. So yeah, kind of leaning out with my material already, so we're going to jump into it. We got match like number 12 here in the flyweight female division. We got Andrea Lee versus Miranda Maverick. Andrea Lee, a plus 160 underdog. Miranda, negative 190 favorite. Dog. Andrea Lee is one of those roller coasters that you just cannot bet on. Like, if you're not riding the right wave, you can't bet on her. Every time I'm like, she's going to win, she loses. Every time I'm like, woohoo, she's going to lose, this person can't beat her, she wins. So it was really hard for me to pick against her again. I'm going with Miranda Maverick to get a W here. Look, Miranda, she's humbled, she's young, she's faced some very tough opponents already, but she is the real deal. You can see that she's got that contender for a championship material. I'm not going to come out and definitively say this girl's going to be a champion, but she's got that contendership where she's going to be a top 5 girl and maybe, just maybe, get a title shot eventually. But right now she's got Andrea Lee in front of her and she's going to take her out. I have a great feeling. But if you had to put a gun to my head on how this fight finishes, I'm going Miranda Maverick by decision and point win. So if that's the way you want to go for it. But if you want to just get her to get the W and throw that 190 down, 3 out of 5 on the comments level, she gets her W there. All right, match like number 11 is a welterweight male fight. We get Oban Elliott versus Van Woodburn. Van's a plus 250 underdog. Oban's a negative 310 favorite. Look, man, Van looks the part of a UFC fighter. He unfortunately had to fight Bo Nickel his first fight on a short notice fight and get knocked out. Didn't get to see what he has to bring to the UFC, but when they throw you to the dogs like that, they have pretty high hopes on you. So that means they got high hopes on him. And Oban Elliott is just insane prospect who already has shown what he's made of. So that's why the odd makers have Elliott at 310 versus Woodburn as the plus 250. It's just the way the MMA math and the betting math is going to have to go, and all that money coming in on Oban Elliott. If it is. Trust me, the sharps are betting it. They're picking Oban. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to go out here and get a definitive win. I'm only picking him with a 1 out of 5 confidence that Elliott gets his hand raised. That's a don't blink fight, and I'm ready to see what Val Woodburn can bring to the UFC and actually show his material. So that's going to be an exciting fight for me. Match like number 10, we get Josh Quinlan versus Danny Barlow. Still in the welterweight division in the males. Josh is a plus 170 underdog. Danny's a negative 200 favorite. Look, man, I don't know too much about these guys. I do some deep research just to even get any material, so I don't have much for you guys other than I think the favorite Danny Barlow gets a W, and I'm pretty confident that he does. Now, Josh is no slouch, but his MMA skill set just, to me, doesn't match up against Danny. But hey, it's a fight game. That's why we duke it out, finish it out, because sometimes you can land that nice strike and it goes nighty-night, or you could get a nice submission. But I feel like Danny gets a W here. I don't have a way of a decision, DQ or TKO submission. I don't have any of that. So Danny by W. That's what we're going with. 3 out of 5 on the comments level. He gets his hand raised after the fight. Now, match like number 9 is debuting for each of these guys. One might have a UFC fight, but I'd have to go back and look at it again. Didn't have it fully memorized. We got Zhang Mingyang versus Bredson Ribio. Now, Zhang is a negative 120 favorite. Brenson's a plus 100 underdog, but I'd say this is more of a pick 'em. It's a light heavyweight fight. They're both making their debut. What made me stand out was the accuracy of his stats for Zhang and his, in all of his fights leading up to the UFC. I went with that because when you're a more accurate fighter, the other guy was 46%. He was up in like the 61 or 58% in between there. So I'm going to go with the more accurate fighter and just risk it there if I'm putting the money down and putting it on the money line there. So it's a banger fight, though. Do not miss it, guys. Literally, it's a good prospect fight. But I think Ming Yang gets the W there with his negative 120. All right, match like number 8 is a bantamweight fight. The odds are nuts on this one. We get Runyan Nakamura versus Carlos Vedev. Carlos is a plus 750 underdog, so if you want to risk it on just that guy doing something, you can. I'm not saying it's a good idea because, personally, Nakamura's skill set is above most people. They have not fed him to the dogs yet, but he's getting up there. He's going to be fed to the dogs very, very soon. He's a negative 1,300 favorite. So we're picking him to win. We're only going 3 out of 5 on the confidence, so I think the odds makers are a little nasty against Vera. I think he has a puncher's chance, but they're making it look like he don't even have a puncher's chance. So picking Nakamura, like I said, but it's crazy. Sometimes you don't put these negative $1,300 fights on your parlay. If you do, you put it on one. But you ain't putting it on every single one because it's not smart. Because what if he loses, man? That'll kill all your slips. So, match. And yes, I am a supporter of parlays, guys. You know me. I shoot big. I shoot for the fences. Yeah, it doesn't hit all the time. But, hey, parlays are the way to go if you want to make some killer money. But your risk, it's pure risk. It's bad. It's a bad investment. Always know that. But just know, your man here, Philyflishow, he does parlays. All right. Match like number 7, we get the heavyweight division. We get Marcos Rodrigo de Lema versus Justin Tafa. Now, Marcus is a negative 150 favorite. Justin Tafa is a plus 125 underdog. Dog. Why are you y'all slouching on my man Tafa? Why is, okay. Marcus took a bad KO by Derek Lewis his last fight, okay? Dude's really never had a big knockout, but he's also up in there in age. And you get Justin Tafa, who's on a roll, had a draw, but still went and fought the guy again and knocked him senseless like he's been doing. He's been on a roll. I'm rolling Justin Tafa here with that plus 125, and I'm actually really confident he gets a W here. Look, it's that age thing that's going to pop up. I've kind of talked about a bit. If you haven't looked it out, there is a great video on MMA on Point Facebook site about the age thing. Now, when you're fighting in a title fight, it's usually 33 is the age drop off, but when it's a regular fight, it's 34. Marcus is 38. Justin is 30, I think. So he's got the advantage there with that stat. plus the way he's been on a tear, it's him at plus 125. It's great money. Throw it down. 3 out of 5 on the confidence that Justin gets the win. If you want to get higher odds, take Justin with a TKO finish, because that dude takes your head off, man. And it's a heavyweight fight, so it's a worth it risk. If you want to roll the other way with Marcus, go for it, but it's a bad bet, man. It's just not a good investment. I'm telling you that right now. All right, co-main event. I've got another big thing. Now, I'm not going to be recording these. I'm recording these on here, but I'm not recording these extra bonuses I'm giving you, because these are just what's in my head that I have confidence in. I'll put down a bet slip on it. But that doesn't mean I want to tell everyone to put down a bet slip on it, because you have to know that it is risk too. So, this one I'll explain here. Amanda Lemos versus Mackenzie Dern. It's a female strawweight fight. Amanda Lemos is a negative 135 favorite. Mackenzie's a plus 115. Let me break this down why these odds are like this, guys. Mackenzie Dern, she is a grappling specialist working on her striking, and she has some power, and for her size at this division, it's great. She's fighting a warrior in Amanda Lemos, who is I'm not going to say polar opposite, but she's a little bit of the opposite. She's got these dynamite hands, dude, where they put you to sleep, and she can grapple. But she's not like the extreme grappling specialist that Mackenzie is. But because she can grapple, Mackenzie's got to respect that and probably going to stand there. And if you watched her in her last fight, when she stood in there, she got knocked the bleep out by a girl I thought she was going to destroy. So, put in the same scenario, short notice, even if she goes to her grappling, I think Amanda's, who's been in a camp, is going to be stronger, going to be able to defend the takedowns, and going to be able to defend all grappling submission specialists in Mackenzie Dern. So if it goes to the hands, it's a nighty-night for Dern. Pick Amanda Lemos with the win. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level on just the win. But if you want to get the odds up there and make some extra cash on the bonus, here's your bonus thing. Amanda Lemos with a finish, TKO finish. Dog, it's a good bet because of what happened to Mackenzie in her last fight. Go watch what happened to her, and you'll be on this whole roller coaster train that I'm rolling up on this high horse. All right, that's your feature prelim bout with your bonuses. We're jumping in the main card here. Where you got to throw down the money to watch it, or head to your local watering hole / casino like I do. So, main card here, we'll jump into it. Middleweight fight, Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. Kopilov's a plus 200 underdog. Anthony's a negative 245 favorite. Look, Anthony is supposed to lose his fights every single time. Someone's like, oh, nope, he's coming up. He's finally facing a competitor that can beat him. He's going to lose. Oh, he's going to lose. And then you go look at the dude's stat line for his MMA fights. It's insane the output he puts. His accuracy, his strike output is high. His takedown defense is extremely high, and then his takedown accuracy for himself and his he at least tries one submission almost a fight. His grappling defense is great, and his grappling offense, he has I think it was high, I swear it was high 6 or high 4. So he does everything. He's an all-around MMA fighter. Kopilov's kind of the same way, but he's got great hands. So great fight, don't miss it. I almost had to throw up a coin, but Hernandez in negative 245 favorite, Kopilov's plus 200. I went with the odds makers. They know something for me that I don't. Mainly it's because of the way Anthony Hernandez fights going forward. I'm picking Anthony here. 1 out of 5 though on the confidence that he gets his hand raised. All right, match leg number 4 is a bantamweight male fight. Merab Dvalishvili versus Henry Cejudo. Plus 185 on Henry. Negative 225 on Merab. Look, man, if the same Henry Cejudo shows up to the fight, what he did his last fight against Aljamain Sterling, wow, mind blank there for a second. It's going to be a long 3-round night for him because Merab is just a ruthless animal with takedown striking. He's just crazy. I don't like the guy. I literally despise the guy. I don't know what it is. I hate Merab. Just absolutely don't like him. Don't ask me why. I don't have a full-on reason other than I watched him on TV that time with the O'Malley thing. He took his jacket and I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. But the guy is funny. I'll give him that. He's a little funny. He does make me laugh. But Henry used to be one of my favorite fighters. Then he went cringe. Then I didn't like cringe Henry either. So it's a full glass of humble pie for me here watching these two fight. But I had to pick one. Put a gun to my head. Not really. I think he's going to win no matter what. Merab's going to win this fight, man. It's just over for Henry. He took too long to come back. And he's not working his way up the rankings. He's just taking big fights, which is it's not a good scenario for him. So, gonna say Merab gets a big W here, 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. He gets his hand raised. Now, the next 3 fights are not good for my confidence level. I'm just gonna tell you all now. They're all 1 out of 5. I will still say that at the end of it, but they are all 1 out of 5. Starting off with match like number 3 here, we get Geoff Neal, a.k.a. Jeff Neal. I call him Geoff, so you're probably going to hear me call him that again. I cannot call him Jeff with the name he spells his freaking name. It's Geoff, guys. All right, Geoff Neal versus Ian Machado Gary. Ian Machado Gary, negative 240 favorite, whereas Geoff Neal is a plus 195 underdog. So, in every single almost Ian Gary fight that I've watched, almost, I didn't say all of them, almost, so 3/4 of them we'll say, without looking into it fully, dude has taken some shots where he has a reaction, okay? He's been better his last fight. His last fight was not like that, but the 2 fights ago, he took some shots that got a little nasty, had some adversity. Look, the guy he's fighting, it's the dynamite. Like, he just lands. If it's the first or second round and he's landing, it's going to be a nasty night for Ian Machado Gary. So, the way he fights, the way it's been, I'm going Geoff Neal here with that plus 195. 1 out of 5, though, on my confidence level he gets there. I just think he's going to land it, man. And Ian Machado Gary's not been humbled pie yet, and I think the humble pie is coming on Saturday with the Geoff Neal. Big W. Co-main event of the evening is a middleweight fight between Robert Whittaker and Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa plus 205 underdog. I thought I said 65. I had to look a little closer to a negative 250 favorite and Robert Whittaker. Look, man, Paulo's gassed in fights. Paulo's big. Paulo's muscular. Paulo's got that lactic acid that he's got to fill up with fluids, and it's just, when you get into wrestling, when you get into a good MMA fight, that's sometimes your downfall, is how muscular you are. Rob is very strong, but not in that like crazy like physique muscular look where he's toned out. He's strong. He's just got a different body build. I think Robert Whittaker does not lose this fight, mainly because of the grappling. I think it just gasses Paulo out. I think he gets a 2-1 round decision on Paulo, and just, it's like, I actually don't, to be honest with you, I haven't heard a statement that that's a 5-round fight. So I'm pretty sure that's a 3-round fight. If it is a 5-round fight, I'm still going Rob, but then I'd be going Rob with more of a finish and getting a TKO style or submission on Paulo. But if it's only a 3-round fight, sticking with Rob by decision. That's the bonus for you. And then we get to our main event of the evening. Oof, you probably already know what the house this is. This is a city kickboxing house. So there ain't no way we were taking Ilia Topuria, but I'm gonna say this. This is a nasty matchup for Volk, but the problem that Ilia did was the disrespect. Don't make a champion have a chip on his shoulder. He came out to be funny. You should have rolled with it. You should have been funny. You could have been a trash talker and have been funny. But you chose to go the disrespectful route, which means you're gonna lose on Saturday. You're gonna get a little bit of humble pie from the Aussie. I know I yelled into this thing, but man am I motivated. Man am I happy. And this man Volk at negative 125, if you got it cheaper like I did, he is getting a flippin' W, dude, and he's gonna do it in crazy fashion. Volk hasn't lost in almost 5 full years since he became title contender. He has lost at lightweight, not featherweight. He is the featherweight king, and he is going to show that he is back on Saturday. And that is your dagger from the Philyflishow. Shout out to Right Production Studios for always making this happen. And we will see you next week, y'all. We got like 11 straight weeks of fights. I think we're on only week 3 or 4 of them, so See you next week. Good fights coming up. Don't miss Saturday night. It's pay-per-view. UFC 298, Alexzander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria's getting slammed. Peace out, y'all.